In this tutorial, you will learn how to set up automated cart abandonment emails in Omnisend with WooCommerce so that you can transform your shoppers into happy customers. Omnisend can track visitors who abandon their cart so that you can send them targeted cart recovery emails. This will help you win back lost sales and showcase the value of your products. So let's get started. Here's what you'll need to get started: an Omnisend account. And by the way, for a limited time, Omnisend is offering a free migration package for WooCommerce merchants. Click the link in the description to learn more. This offer is valued at $1,000 and is completely free. Next, you'll need to have an Omnisend for WooCommerce plugin installed on your WordPress website. And finally, for this tutorial, you'll need to have a WooCommerce store up and running. So I've logged into my Omnisend account. And what we're going to do is click on the automation tab to get started with creating our abandoned checkout automation. So click on automation. Omnisend does all the work for you and says, hey, let's set up an abandoned cart workflow for you, and just click on preview and start workflow. Or you could go into explore all workflows and then click on the abandoned cart option and then select abandoned cart and do it that way, a more manual process. For now, let's click on preview and start workflow. So this is what it's going to look like. It's going to say a customer abandons a cart or a customer abandons a checkout. Now, those are two different things. And the way it is described is if a customer puts something in their cart and then leaves the website. An abandoned checkout is if a person adds something to the cart, then starts the checkout process, and then leaves the website. But that is basically what you're setting up with this workflow. Now, another thing to point out is that if it's an abandoned cart and they haven't entered an email address, there's no way for Omnisend to identify them unless they are already a current subscriber in your contacts list. So keep that in mind for the abandoned cart process. The abandoned checkout process will only take effect if, again, the person is known. So in other words, they're logged in to their store account, or they're connected through your contacts list, they're already in your contacts list, or they've added in their email address in the checkout process. Okay, so keep those things in mind. That's how these things work. So we're going to click on continue setup. Another option you have is to add an SMS option. I'm not going to do that for this video, but if you'd like me to do the SMS portion, let me know in the comments below. We will use only emails. And then we're going to click on Start Workflows. It's going to take a second to set this all up, and then we're going to click on Show My Workflows down here in the bottom. So they've automatically set up an abandoned checkout and an abandoned cart for you. And let's tweak these a little bit. So we're going to click on Abandoned Checkout first. And let's take a look at the trigger point. So the customer enters the workflow when they start the checkout process. The first email will get triggered after 1 hour. So if they haven't started the checkout process again after 1 hour, they'll get a reminder email to, hey, there's items in your cart. Make sense? So on the right-hand side, it explains the trigger and works through the conditions. Then we have the email. Now you can tweak these as you go along. You might want to change out the subject line. Things are selling out fast. You might want to make that more on brand for what you're setting up for you and your company. And we can go in and take a look at the content. We'll click Save Yes to any changes. So it pre-fills in a nice email. It's very short and sweet. It says, hey, what happened? We noticed you left some items in your cart. And then there's a complete your order. What you see below that will automatically be filled in with whatever product they had left in their cart, right? So they're doing the checkout process. Whatever was left in their shopping cart, they'll see here. They won't see all of this. This is just fill in, so this won't be seen. So that's taking a look at the email. We'll click on Finish Editing. Then there is a wait in the workflow. And again, you can change this to 10, 11, or longer, or less hours that you want to wait. And then you have another email that is triggered, and then another wait for 12 hours. And again, you can change any of this, and then the last email that is sent. You can delete one of these emails, delete one of the wait times. It's entirely up to you. You can customize it as you want. In fact, one of the things we can do in this very last email, we can click on Edit Content, and we can add in let's go into Quick Add and add in a unique discount code. We'll drag that over here, and we can do a 10% off the cart discount, and we can move that up here. Still thinking about it. There we go. And then we can do a redeem discount, and we can take off this complete order here. We don't want to have 2 calls to actions. And again, don't worry about the product image. So now we have an auto-generated discount code for anyone that receives this email. So we can click on Finish Editing. So that is the abandon checkout process. And then when you're done with all of your tweaks, you just click on Update down here in the bottom right, and then click Close. We'll take a look at abandon cart real quickly because it is basically the same process. The customer enters this workflow if they add, again, an item to their cart, not the checkout process, but the customer exits this workflow if they start their checkout. Make sense? And the trigger filter is, let's wait an hour before we kick this thing off. And it's basically the same process, the same emails, items in your cart, wait 11 hours, cart misses you. And again, for this last email, if you want to have the last email, you can add in that auto-generated discount code. So that's all there is to that. Exactly the same, except the trigger is different at the beginning. So let's test this out. So over on the WooCommerce side, I have my test product here, and that we can go check out on a private window. Then we can check out the cart checkout abandonment process. So here's our test product. We're going to click on Add to Cart, and we'll click on View Cart, and we'll click on Proceed to Checkout. In our Proceed to Checkout, we'll enter some information here so it can be captured by Omnisend, making sure that we enter in our email address. Let's enter this email address. Okay. So right now we're just going to abandon the checkout, and then we're going to wait an hour and see if we get our first set of emails. So see you back here in just a sec. Well, fast forward to the very next morning of the recording that we did for our process setup. So we can see here that we've gotten 2 emails. So the one that came in 1 hour after, and another one that came in, I believe it was 12 hours later. So let's take a look at these 2 emails and we'll see what they look like. So the first one is items in your cart are selling out fast. So we'll click here and we see here that we have a complete your order button is there. And also we have a shop now with the only product that we added to our cart and checkout process, which is the test product. So that's the first email. Then 12 hours later, I believe it was, we got our second email at 4:37 a.m. this morning. And so if we click on that one, again, we are presented with our call to action to complete our order. And again, our only product that we added to our cart during the checkout process. There's one other component to this that you should be checking out when you're dealing with workflows or campaigns, and that is the report feature that Omnisend provides. We're under reports, we're in our workflows tab, and we can see here that we have our abandoned checkout and our abandoned cart both enabled. And we see here that we've had 2 emails sent and 2 opened. So what we can do to get into more detail here is we can click on View Report, and it will give you a breakdown of this workflow. So it'll say one contact is now in progress. That's the email address we gave at checkout, and it can tell you the channel performance. So if I had an SMS or push notification set up, it would have that detail here too. But since we've only done email, that's all we have. So we can click on View Contacts. We can see that 2 emails were sent. Our open rate is 100%. That never happens. And we can see engagement over time. So we can see that the one was opened and sent yesterday, and one was opened and sent today as of this recording. And then we also have emails in the workflow and which emails were sent. So very good detail here that you should not overlook when you are making sure that everything is working on the workflow and how successful you are with getting shoppers to become happy customers. So as you can see, setting up an abandoned cart automation process benefits e-commerce by reducing the potential of lost store sales. It also helps to understand customer behavior, enabling personalized marketing and improving customer engagement. If you'd like to learn more about Omnisend, click the link in the description below and check out some of these videos right here. Thanks, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.